There is a moment in every soul contract where heaven stops hinting and starts stepping in. You have reached that moment now. The angels are not on the sidelines anymore. They are standing in the middle of this story, moving pieces, rearranging energy, pulling down lies. Your person felt it first. One day the air around them changed. Conversations felt sharper. Rooms felt heavier. Silence felt loud. Their own home started to feel like a test. They could not name it, but their spirit knew. Something dark had been working against their heart. The third party thought they were clever. They watched your person love you. They saw how their face softened when you came up. They felt the bond. They felt the pull. And they hated it. So they went after the one place they knew would hurt the most. Your person's feelings for you. Not their job. Not their plans. Not their hobbies. Their feelings for you. They aimed right at the sacred center. They told stories in soft voices. They pretended to worry. They framed it as realism, as maturity, as doing what is best. But every word had poison in it. They tried to turn your love into a problem, into a burden, into a weakness. They wanted your person to doubt what their soul already knew. They wanted your person to feel ashamed of loving you. They wanted your person to question their own heart. For a while, it worked. Your person grew quieter. Not because their love for you vanished, but because they were being pushed into a corner. They stopped talking about you, not because they forgot, but because it hurt to say your name in a house that judged it. At family dinners, they sat with a fork in their hand, half present, half somewhere else. Someone would ask, "Are you okay?" They would smile, say, "I'm just tired." But the angels saw everything. They saw the way your person's shoulders tensed. They saw the way they stared at their plate. They saw how their eyes drifted to the door, as if they wished they could walk out and keep walking. Your person would step outside after meals, just to breathe, just to feel sky and air, just to not be watched. They would stand under the moon, phone in hand, thinking of you, wanting to reach out, deleting messages before they could send them. Their family noticed the change. Even if no one had proof yet, they saw a gentle soul becoming guarded. They saw a warm person turn careful with their words. They saw someone who used to laugh loudly, now laugh from only half the chest. Something was off. They could feel it. The third party blamed stress, blamed work, blamed mood, but the angels were already moving. A small moment, a single question, was all heaven needed. One day, someone in the family finally asked the right thing. At the right time, in the right tone. The veil ripped. Your person did not give a long speech. They did not expose everything at once. They simply cracked. Their voice trembled. Their eyes glossed. Their jaw tightened. They tried to hold the story in. But pain does not like cages. A few words escaped. Not the full history. Just enough for the room to feel the truth behind them. Enough for the family to realize. This was not stress. This was not a rough patch. This was harm. From that moment, the energy in the entire house changed. The third party felt it first. They felt eyes on them. Not with curiosity, but with clarity. Questions started landing differently. Silence started meaning something. The masks began to slip. The family began to connect dots. They remembered times the third party answered for your person. Times they cut them off. Times they twisted small comments into bigger issues. Times they turned every concern into an attack. They remembered how often the third party spoke for your person's emotions. He's just overwhelmed. She's just tired. They're just confused. But the angels knew. Confusion is usually created, not born. More truth started seeping out. Someone asked another question, this time more direct, more precise, less polite. Your person looked down, hands shaking, not from fear of the family, but from the weight of finally being seen. They spoke carefully, like someone walking on broken glass. The words were simple, but the meaning was huge. I don't feel okay. I feel controlled. I feel guilty all the time. You have to understand. Your person was raised to be strong, to carry their own weight, to fix things quietly. They were not taught to say, I am being manipulated. So they said it in other ways. Their silence, their distance, their tired eyes. The angels translated for the family. In that moment, something in their parents, their siblings, their relatives, snapped into place. This was not overreacting. This was not drama. This was not your person being sensitive. This was emotional harm. The family pulled at the thread, and the whole story unraveled. They found out how the third party monitored who your person spoke to, how they questioned every moment of free time, how they kept mentioning you in a negative way, bringing your name up, then rolling their eyes, then sighing, then calling it just an opinion. They heard about the guilt trips. If you really cared, you'd. If you loved me, you wouldn't. After everything I've done for you. They learned how every attempt your person made to create space turned into a fight, into tears, into threats of leaving, into talks about being abandoned. It was not love. It was control dressed as concern. The family also learned one more thing, the part that made their blood burn. Almost every attack, every guilt trip, every twisted story had one target, you. The third party could not stand your presence. Even when you were not physically there, they tried to erase you from conversations. They rolled their eyes when your name came up. They used small comments, small digs, to plant doubt about you. They asked questions like, are you sure about them? Do you really think they care that much? Maybe you are just bored and projecting. On the surface, it looked like honesty. Inside, it was envy. And the angels watched. The family began to replay the past in their minds. They remembered your person's glow when they first spoke about you, the softness in their expression, that quiet hope they had not seen in years. Then they remembered when it stopped. One season, your person talked about you often. The next, your name disappeared. They thought life simply moved on. Now they know. It was pushed. When the family finally grasped that the third party had tried to poison something sacred, everything shifted. This was not just misbehavior. This was not just bad attitude. This was tampering with a divine connection. Anger rose. Not wild anger. Not rage without direction. But a deep, steady, righteous anger. The kind that says, you will not do this here. The third party tried to defend themselves. They cried. They spoke fast. They blamed misunderstanding. They said, you are all against me. But once truth enters a room, tears cannot cover it. Every explanation sounded thin. Every excuse sounded rehearsed. Every attempt to flip the story landed flat. Your person sat there, heart pounding, watching the illusion crumble. For the first time, they were not protecting the third party. They were simply watching. The angels were not neutral. They were standing behind your person, hands on their shoulders, whispering. Finally, your person felt guilty, not because they had done wrong, but because they realized how long they allowed themselves to be slowly drained. They remembered the first time something felt off, the first time they thought, this doesn't feel like love. They remembered telling themselves, it will get better. She's just stressed. He's just insecure. They just need time. They remembered defending the third party. Even when their own spirit felt bruised, they felt shame for ignoring their intuition, for staying too long, for letting the third party speak badly about you, for going quiet when they should have stood up for what they felt. The angels step in here. They do not shame your person. They do not say, why did you stay? They say, now you see. That is enough. This guilt is not here to punish them. It is here to wake them. Your person is finally understanding. They were not weak. They were empathic. They kept giving benefit of the doubt to someone who turned that generosity into a weapon. Your person is tired. Tired on a soul level. Tired of walking on eggshells. Tired of managing someone else's emotions. Tired of feeling guilty for wanting peace. In the middle of this exhaustion, Memories of you rise. Not soft, dreamy memories that fade. Sharp ones. Clear ones. Your laugh. Your eyes. The way you leaned in when they spoke. The way you made heavy things sound solvable. Just by listening. They remember how light their chest felt around you. How they could talk without rehearsing. How they never had to calculate every word. They remember feeling seen. Without being studied. Held. Without being owned. The contrast is extreme. With you, they breathed. With the third party, they braced. Their family saw this too. Maybe not all the details, but enough. They saw that whenever your name slipped out, your person's face changed. A soft light, a sharper focus, a small calm. The family is now reevaluating you. Through the lens of truth, they are realizing you were never the problem. You were the proof. Proof of what real connection feels like. Proof of what their loved one looks like when their soul is fed, not starved. This is why their anger toward the third party is so strong. Because that person did not just hurt your loved one. They attacked the one thing that made your person feel truly alive. Your person's soul is waking up. They are seeing pattern after pattern after pattern. The same cycle, the same drama, the same guilt, the same collapse. They are remembering arguments that never ended in clarity. Only in your person apologizing for feeling hurt. They are remembering how every time they brought up your name, the room got cold. The third party's eyes changed. Jokes became blades. Now, those old moments make sense. The angels are clearing fog from your person's mind. They are whispering, look, look again. See it for what it was. Your person is not lashing out. They are not screaming. They are not throwing things. Their detachment is quiet. They answer slower. They share less. They stop explaining themselves. They stop over-justifying every choice. Their spirit is stepping back. Even when their body is still in the same room. This is the kind of detachment that never reverses. Because it comes from a deep decision in the soul. The third party feels it. And they panic. They speak sweeter. They suddenly suggest changes. They say, I can do better. We can start over. They show a side they never showed when they felt in control. They promise therapy. They promise space. They promise to respect boundaries. But your person now hears tone. Not words. They feel the desperation. Not the love. Their body tells the truth. Even before their mind speaks it. Around the third party. Their chest still tightens. Their jaw still locks. Their stomach still sinks. Around thoughts of you. Their body reacts differently. Their shoulders drop. Their breath deepens. Their heart hurts. But in a clean way. Like a wound finally being touched with medicine. They do not feel fear when they think of you. They feel grief. They feel longing. They feel truth. They are realizing with painful clarity. They did not drift from you. They were pulled away. Not by fate, but by fear, by guilt, by pressure. The angels want you to hear this. You were not forgotten. You were not replaced. You were not less than. You were too aligned. And that alignment threatened the third party's control. Your person is now entering emotional cleansing. Every bit more weight falls off. They wake up still heavy, but less lost. They go to sleep still sad, but less confused. They replay past events, not to torture themselves, but to understand. They are sorting what was true, what was twisted, what was theirs, what was projected. They remember your last real conversation, what was said, what was left unsaid. They hear their own fear in their words, the way they pulled back, the way they tried to be realistic, while their eyes were full of you. They wish they had chosen differently. But the angels are telling them, you can choose differently now. Your person is starting to see their own value again. They ask themselves, why did I think I had to accept this? Who taught me that love looks like constant tension? Why did I treat my needs as a problem? The answers are painful. Old conditioning, old stories, old wounds. But seeing them is power. Meanwhile, their family is not stepping back. They stand like a wall. between your person and the chaos. When the third party tries to stir drama, the family stays calm. They refuse to be dragged into shouting, into accusations, into messy scenes. They answer with facts, with short sentences, with steady eyes. The third party hates this, because drama was their oxygen. And now the room is still. Your person feels safer than before. Not fully safe yet, but safer. They know, if the third party explodes, they will not be the only one standing there, taking the hit. They have backup now. They are not fighting alone. In the middle of this, you rise in their mind again, not as a fantasy, as a measure, as a mirror. They compare how they felt with you to how they feel now. With you, they wanted to plan, to build, to grow. With the third party, they simply wanted to survive the day. Your person is realizing they lost more than a relationship with you. They lost a version of themselves. The version that dreamed bigger, spoke freer, loved braver. That version comes back in flashes. When they think of your smile, of your voice, of that one random day, where nothing special happened, but everything felt right. They cannot go back in time, but they can move forward with truth. The angels are aligning their inner world. Their thoughts, their feelings, their intuition are slowly lining up. They are no longer calling what hurt them normal. They are no longer calling what healed them too good to be true. They see what the third party did, and they see what you did. One took, one gave. It is that simple. Your person is not rushing into decisions. Heaven will not let them run half-heeled into any big move. First, they must choose themselves. They are learning to say no without writing a whole essay afterward. They are learning to pause, to check in with their own body before answering a question. They are learning that discomfort is information, not something to ignore, and every step they take back into themselves brings them closer to you, not physically yet, but spiritually. The energetic line between you is lighting up again. You feel it at random times. You feel your chest ache. You feel your thoughts drift. You feel songs point at them. You feel dreams sharpen. This is not obsession. This is movement. Their soul is moving closer. Even before their feet do, they think about you at night, when the noise is quiet, when the third party is not around, when the house is still. They imagine what it would feel like to sit across from you again, to speak openly, to tell you what really happened, what they really felt. They are scared that they have lost their chance, that you have closed the door, that too much damage was done. But the angels keep placing you in their mind, not to tease them, to guide them. They are being shown what real love looked like, so they never mistake control for love again. Your person is moving through regret. They regret not defending you more. They regret letting someone talk down on your name. They regret staying silent while you doubted your own worth. They wish they had said, "I love them. I choose them. This is my heart, not your business." They did not say it then, but they feel it now. Regret can drown or refine. Heaven is using it to refine. Your person is becoming more honest with themselves, less willing to lie to keep the peace, less willing to stay small. They are stepping out of emotional survival into emotional truth. The third party is losing control, faster than they can handle. They send long messages. They make long calls. They show up at odd times. They pull every card they have. Nothing hits the same. Your person is not biting the bait. They are not jumping into every argument. They are not chasing. They are not fixing. They look at the third party now and see what they refused to see. Someone who was never trying to share a life, only trying to own the emotional space. The family sees it too, clearly, fully. They are done. Done accepting chaos at the dinner table. Done pretending the tension is miscommunication. Done laughing off red flags. They protect your person's schedule. They decline invites that feel off. They shorten conversations with the third party. They refuse to be charmed. Your person is watching all of this, And one thought keeps rising inside them. I was not crazy. They were not imagining the manipulation. They were not reading too much into things. They were not too sensitive. They were under pressure. And no one saw it clearly. Until now. As clarity grows, your person's heart becomes more still. They are not emotionally spinning anymore. They are observing. From that stillness, one truth stands out. Every path that feels like peace leads back in your direction, not to escape pain, but to step toward truth. They picture sitting across from you, hands shaking, voice unsure, but eyes honest. They picture saying, I am sorry. Here is what really happened. Here is what I felt but couldn't say. They are not there yet, but they are closer than you think. Because the soul always walks toward what feels like home. Once the noise is removed, you are that home. Even if you feel far, even if you feel done, even if you feel forgotten, your energy never left their field. Not for one day. The angels want you to know. You did not lose because you were less. You stepped aside because you were pure. And pure hearts are often removed from rooms where dirty games are being played. Now the games are over. The masks are off. The family knows. Your person knows. Heaven has always known. What happens next is not random. The interference is dying. The illusion is gone. The control is fading. Your person is standing at the edge of a new chapter. Not the old version of them. A wiser one. A softer one. A more honest one. They will not be perfect, but they will be real. If your spirit feels even a small echo of this truth, type in the comments, I receive this clarity. Claim it, because this story is not closing. It is turning. The next moves, the next conversations, the next divine nudges will shift everything again. And you will not be watching from the outside. You will be part of the unfolding. If your heart whispers, this is my story, write in the comments, I am ready for real truth. The angels have started the intervention. No one can stop what heaven has already set in motion.